So at the end of the day, a good game won't go straight into the final mission without some inspirational quotes and a cutscene to get the player on edge for the final assault on an enemy. Before entering combat, a leader needs his time to give his men or women an opportunity to feel better about their chances in the forms of statistics, about what they are fighting for, and up their ego in their capabilities and strengths. Each Mass Effect game has had one of these essential scenes, before either the final mission or an important conflict between a certain race or mid-game war. In this top 5, we're going to give you the 5 best speeches across the Mass Effect franchise, as there are definitely some excellently written ones in there. And we are mainly classing the main long speeches. Sorry Rex, but your I am Erd not Rex and this is my planet won't quite cut it in comparison to the rest. Don't forget to like this video and stay tuned for more future content, and let's kick off this list. At number 5 we have the Reaper Sovereign. Okay, so starting off with an odd one that you may not have expected to see, but nonetheless it's the holder to some of my favourite lines across the entire trilogy. The Reaper Sovereign, also known as Nazara, holds this spot. A speech can be good or evil, and to 1 or 100 people. This evil speech directed to Shepard's team not only makes you feel frightened for your life, but also destroys any hope that you may have had. With the Reaper almost boasting about how powerful their fleet is, it's hard to not feel on the edge of your seat by hearing what it has to say. Especially seeing as the events on Vermeer up to this point were already amazing.
Organic life is nothing but a genetic mutation, an accident. Your lives are measured in years and decades. You wither and die. We are eternal, the pinnacle of evolution and existence. Before us, you are nothing. Your extinction is inevitable. We are the end of everything. Your words are as empty as your future. I am the vanguard of your destruction. This exchange is over.
If this was a speech delivered by Sovereign to the rest of his Reaper buddies, you can imagine they would be just as inspired to go and wipe out the galaxy just as much as if Shepard was doing the same to an army of Alliance soldiers. A chilling scene which introduces the first Reaper, which underlays the foundation of the Mass Effect story. It just couldn't be missed out from this list, in my opinion. In the 4th spot we have Admiral Hackett. Seen as a notable member in the Systems Alliance, a lot of individuals look up to Hackett with good reason. So after Shepard has assembled all his war assets from all the different races and technology, there's not many people better to pull together the galaxy than himself, one of the most notable admirals in the Systems Alliance, and that's where the final battle is kind of occurring. The way Hackett is escorted to the galaxy map on the Normandy gives an impression of high hope and awesomeness of what is yet to be seen, and is empowering in itself. This speech is short-lived but moving, and Hackett's tone of voice made it inspire many individuals, especially with the soundtrack playing in the background. It's just sort of a shame that Shepard couldn't take the glory of the speech regarding his main role in assembling the fleets, but it's not like Shepard hasn't had his fair share of speeches across the series. In number 3, we have Commander Shepard from both Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 3. Okay, so I'm copping out here by combining 2 moments to sort of fit in 6 speeches in a top 5 video. But in all seriousness, we really did have a hard time picking between these options and deciding on a favourite. As you can imagine, Shepard has plenty of speeches in Mass Effect, but these 2 are for sure among his best. In Mass Effect 1, the speech is dedicated to stopping one Reaper and inspiring the crew of the Normandy, and the one in Mass Effect 3, right at the end of the game, is a speech dedicated to stopping every Reaper. The music and power of the one in the first game is very motivational and sounds amazing, especially after the tension of the story the game builds up to. And in Mass Effect 3, the speech means a bit more. There's more than a line, and it's possibly a goodbye to some of your friends after the biggest and most brutal war any of them will ever face. 2 pretty big moments with 2 masterpieces of script to definitely hype the player for the upcoming events. Here they are.
Our enemy knows we're coming. When we go into the Traverse, Saren's followers will be waiting for us. But we'll be ready for them, too.
Humanity needs to do this.
Not just for our own sake, but for the sake of every other species in Citadel space. Saren must be stopped. And I promise you all, we will stop him.
Well said, Commander. Captain will be proud.
The captain gave up everything so I could have this chance. We can't fail.
Yes, sir.
This bond that ties us together is something the Reapers will never understand. It's more powerful than any weapon, stronger than any ship. It can't be taken or destroyed. The next few hours will decide the fate of everyone in the galaxy. Every mother, every son, every unborn child. They're trusting you, depending on you to win them their future. A future free from the threat of the Reapers. But take heart. Look around you. You're not in this fight alone. We face our enemy together, and together we will defeat them.
Next up, in our second spot, we have Captain Kirrahe on Vermeer in Mass Effect 1. So this is the first inspirational speech a player who played the trilogy games in order will encounter, and this is the only relatively minor mission that the speech is directed towards on this list. But for the soldiers and intensity on the moment, you can see that tension is running high, and Kirrahe's men need an upbeat voice to encourage them for the upcoming essential mission. In this case, it's to destroy Saren's facility that has begun breeding Krogan for his own personal army. Now I remind you that Kirrahe's men are all Solarian, and you can see why this means a lot to them, bearing in mind their history with the Krogan. So here's a brief reminder of his speech.
You all know the mission and what is at stake. I have come to trust each of you with my life, but I have also heard murmurs of discontent. I share your concerns. We are trained for espionage. We would be legends, but the records are sealed. Glory in battle is not our way. Think of our heroes. A silent step who defeated a nation with a single shot. Or the ever-alert who kept armies at bay with hidden facts. These giants do not seem to give us solace here, but they are not all that we are. Before the network, there was the fleet. Before diplomacy, there were soldiers. Our influence stopped the Rachni, but before that, we held the line. Our influence stopped the Krogan, but before that, we held the line. Our influence will stop Saren. In the battle today, we will hold the line. Good luck, Commander.
I feel like it perfectly encapsulates what is needed for inspiration by reflecting the past actions of other soldiers in past wars. Out of all the speeches on this list, this one felt the most unique with its wording and message, which was also a little catchy if you ask me. It was an excellent scene and definitely motivational to say the least, so it's very deserving as the second spot. Now just before we give out our top spot, we want to mention that we also loved the speech made by Shepard in Tali's trial for her loyalty mission, as well as Eve's speech in Mass Effect 3 to rally the Krogan clans to take back their homeworld from the Reaper threat. Both of these were also well done, and as I mentioned, there were so many great moments it was almost too close to call. And at the number 1 spot, we have a speech in Mass Effect 2, again from Commander Shepard himself. It makes sense for the protagonist to be the one to give out a good old speech, and the reason why Shepard's speech in Mass Effect 2 was a very worthy winner was due to the customization players could have in creating a tense and dramatic moment through the dialogue options, mainly Paragon or Renegade. Whilst you do get this with other speeches like Shepard's Normandy speech and Tali's trial speech, there's more on the line in this scene, and I feel like the script was written better to account for this and to make the scene feel as realistic as possible. On the suicide mission, everyone at this point has already been made aware of the threat and the potential cost of failure of the mission. It's called a suicide mission for a reason, and if I was part of the team to infiltrate this base, I think I'd need a strong drink and some good old motivation to get my butt back in gear. Having the customization between dialogue options, as mentioned, was one of the reasons for this success, but the time in the speeches occurred, both in the Normandy prior and near the end when you leave most of your team to defend the doors as you assault the Human Reaper, was very well timed and really made you nervous about the upcoming events, slowly making you edge towards the end of the sofa. Shepard was the best man to deliver these and certainly helped change the outcome of the mission. Let's not forget that there was technically also decisions to be made and impacts included among the speech, which actually impacted the success of the mission. And here I'm referring to the decisions of having to choose a second squad team leader and specialist for hacking and crawling through the vents. Again, this adds more weight to the scene, more customization and more impact to make it easy to remember how great this was of an ending.
The Collectors, the Reapers, they aren't a threat to us. They're a threat to everything, everyone. Those are the lives we're fighting for. That's the scale. It's been a long journey, and no one's coming out without scars. But it all comes down to this moment. We win or lose it all in the next few minutes. Make me proud. Make yourselves proud.
So what do you think about this list? Do you have a personal favourite that wasn't ours? Or do you want to say why you agree with our top spot on the list? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for similar videos and other BioWare content. I've been Matt at BioWare Follower, and we hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye everyone.